G'day ladies and gents, Cubic Meter here. The Wavetech server has finally updated to 1.19, and with a new update comes new projects, such as the Iron Farm, the everlasting expansion of the largest perimeter in Minecraft, which does offer some minor benefits, and even some fun games like this fully functioning chessboard. These are just some examples of the more recent projects we've been building on the Wavetech server made by our community of players. Be sure to join our Discord to see all the cool things we're doing. As for my projects, they tend to be quite big and complicated to build, so I figured why not do something a little more down to earth. You might have noticed my nice armor trims. And this is thanks to the amazing work of some of our explorers who went out and grabbed every single kind of smithing template, including the one that you can only get from ancient cities. So imagine my surprise to find out that nobody on the Wavetech server has even landed a kill on a Warden. Oh, and if you're wondering how I managed to get a customized elytra, this is actually a mod developed by one of our members, KikuG, that allows you to add elytra trims. As for the Warden situation, I have an idea to rack up the most Warden kills out of any player in Minecraft. And to do this, we'll be following a tutorial by the Archivist team. I'm actually really excited to share this project because it is such an awesome idea, taking simple but very effective builds from the technical community and working with the original authors to make a full build tutorial. I get a lot of comments asking for build tutorials for my designs, but unfortunately I just don't have the time or motivation to produce detailed build instructions for a project. Although this is mainly because my designs are so complex that I'll need to follow a schematic myself in order to build them, which means the tutorial would just be me following a schematic. Like, could you imagine a full build tutorial for Wavetech's main storage? That video would be several days in length. However, this Warden switch by Madman is such a simple design you could easily watch a tutorial and build it from memory. So my plan today is to build a Warden farm using this tutorial from the Archivist. The first step of course is to grab the materials, which actually turns out to be pretty easy when you play on a technical server with a gigantic main storage with every single item type categorized. There we go, that's all the materials, plus a few extra materials for additional components we'll need for the farm. Now we need to find ourselves a naturally generated Skulk Shrieker. Let's just grab some supplies and mend up our gear. Right here we should find ourselves a mountain containing an ancient city. Oh wow, I keep forgetting how much beautiful terrain was actually added in 1.18. But what we're interested in is this cavern right down here. And you might notice that we don't have any mobs spawning, and that has something to do with the fact that on Wavetech, we have a mob switch running. This essentially means we just have a bunch of hostile mobs somewhere in the server being constantly loaded, preventing additional hostile mobs from spawning. However, the mob switch will not be able to protect me from the Warden. I do believe if I go down here, I should be able to break through into the ancient city. And would you look at that, we've landed right next to the central portal. And that is what we're after. However, not quite that Shrieker. We want to find one that is in a nicely flat area. Alright, I think it's about time that we go ahead and just wing it. And touchdown. Make things a little easier to see, I'm just going to go ahead and turn up the gamma slightly. And unfortunately this doesn't look like a very good spot for Shriekers. And bingo! That is exactly what we're looking for. A lone Skulk Shrieker in a relatively flat area with no caverns around to take up the spawns. And unfortunately it's got a Skulk sensor right next to it, so I'm going to have to be very careful. Ooh, that was spooky. Are we spawning any Wardens? Okay, at least that streaker is neutralized. I'm also noticing that streaker over there, which is a little bit too close to comfort, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and remove that one. I'm just gonna sneak right up to it and remove it. Thank God there wasn't any others nearby. Alright, with the streaker neutralized and this area fairly cleaned out, let's get to work. Oh, and after I just started clearing out blocks, I just realized there's some diamond ores here. Do I even want these? Yeah, I guess they're in the way, so they gotta go. The next step tells me to make an infinite water source. Mate, I got my stack of water sources right here. Easy as that. And once again, freaking diamonds, man, getting in the way of everything. Yeah, would you look at that? There are mobs spawning here. Alright, time for Spideys to burn. Spidey burn. Hey, what is this? Oh my god, it's a double spawner. Looks like this is a job for... Nah, I don't think I want to say that. I'm scared I might get demonetized. Oh, that's handy. A place where I can dump all the trash in my inventory. And here is the last step of the arming process. And this is the moment where we find out whether we did it properly. Okay, this is a very spooky machine, but I think that it is working. Now we can get ourselves free reign over all the amazing loot. So now what's left to do is actually build the spawning platform where we will get our wardens to spawn and then whisk them away to the nether where we can collect them and kill them en masse. Turning the warden switch into a farm should be pretty simple. All we need to do is build some portal spaces above the warden switch, and now the warden should spawn up here. Let's give the portals a light. There we go. And before we can go and start spawning wardens, we need to build a collection system on the nether side. So what I have here is a portal which will receive our wardens, which will then drop down this chute trying to follow the noise of these note blocks, where they'll take a whole bunch of fall damage at the bottom, right down here. However, we can't just kill them with fall damage. We want to actually have the kills attributed to my player. Of course I could just try hitting them with a sword, however this comes with its own issues. Such as being hit with the sonic blast. Do I need to mention they can even do it through walls? I could try picking them off at a distance using arrows, however, there is a much better way. If an arrow shot by the player ignites a block of TNT, the explosion from that TNT causing damage to entities will count as damage being caused by my player. As you could see, the warden's kill was attributed to me. This thing that I'm standing on is a variable timing TNT looting system. To prime the system, I can pop an arrow into the top like so, then hit this note block, and the arrow will drop into the chamber where it will be sustained by this piston nudging it every now and then so it doesn't despawn. Now if I go ahead and push in some TNT, the TNT will be ignited and then pushed down and fall all the way to the bottom. Ah, looks like the alignment's not quite right. Okay, hopefully that will now be the correct alignment. There we go. Pushes into the corner and explodes on the ender chest. At the bottom we just have a very simple collection system. It's not like I care that much about the Sculpt Catalyst. I'm now ready to start this farm and get this show on the road. Turn the Sculpt sensor. And start the farm hopefully. There we go, we're now settled. And there they are. Let's go ahead and start the looting process. We're all bouncing around like a jumping castle. Okay, so it's probably a bit faster than it needs to be. Oh, that's not good. Okay, hopefully, if they're not receiving any vibrations from anywhere, they will just despawn on their own. And away they go. Nice. Alright, I happen to know exactly what just happened. The solution is to simply make sure that this part where the TNT falls through is fully covered up so there's no spaces for the TNT to slot into until it reaches all the way to the bottom. Something else I noticed as well is that the Wardens were dying a lot faster than I expected. And so I've gone ahead and implemented a much slower clock, so we're wasting a lot less TNT. The farm is now finally in full swing and the counter is growing. So obviously this part is going to take a little while, so I'll bring you back once we get some results. Here we are, coming up on 10,000. And... Ayy! That is 10,000 Warden kills, all counted towards my player. Obviously kind of a meaningless achievement given it stretches the imagination of what even is a boss fight, and it's not like the Warden was meant to be a boss that you fight anyway. However, I still had lots of fun doing this build in survival, and I was really satisfied with how much I could rely on the instructions from the Archivist to keep me safe throughout the process. Be sure to check out their channel and Discord for more tutorials and tips about technical Minecraft builds. And if you fancy more Wavetech content, be sure to subscribe to the channels of other Wavetech members and join our Discord. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time.